race, Watkins Glen. Tonight, we're ready to turn left and right tonight on our only road course for Season 4 of the GLR Glove Station ARCA Series. And as we take a look back at last week at New Hampshire, Dylan Canova earned his first checkered flag of the season on the West Side Pro Division, while Noah Hoagie Hogard finished fourth overall for the AM win. While all of that was going on the West Side, the East Side was hotter than ever. Mark Whitley won the Pro Division under caution, while Alan Smith pulled out another AM win with Jamie Libke right on his heels. Tonight, however, we turn our attention to the graceful curves of this beautiful circuit in the Empire State. So settle in and let's get ready to roll. I'm Dave Regal with your coverage of the West Division alongside Sky Schreck, who will be covering the East Division in the broadcast booth with the king of dual race production, Eddie Smith, on the ones and twos and everything in between. And we'll be with you every step of the way, from the green flag to the checkered flag, right here on V-Speed. And Sky, as always, it's good to be alongside of you again here in the booth. And what a week we had last week at New Hampshire.
Yeah, New Hampshire last week was two great races across both ARCA East and ARCA West. Mark Whitley over in ARCA East grabbing his fourth consecutive win on the season since we split to the East, West, and divisions. He's going to try to make it five, here tonight in ARCA East. We ran Charlotte, Richmond, New Hampshire over the last few weeks. Watkins Glen tonight will be off next week, but we run Dover on the 13th.
And let's get ourselves focused on Watkins Glen tonight as we pull up that track graphic here. Of course, 2 and just under a half miles to get around this piece. Elevation, more of what we see tonight, not exactly banking in the turns, 998 feet for elevation at its low point, high at 1,110. 7 turns in this piece tonight. They kind of keep off that big loop on the side. And this racetrack that's been open since May 12th, 1956, has been, at least in my estimation, one of the more exciting road courses on the NASCAR circuit. I mean, of course, once upon a time they were racing at Riverside. Of course, we have Sonoma out in California. But to me, Watkins Glen, with these straightaways that we see on the front stretch, of course, and those long, to me, it feels like a country road like where I grew up. I mean, this is just a great racetrack.
And this track fits really well with these NASCAR ARCA cars because it is a lot of flowing, not a lot of really tight corners here. So it kind of helps the racing quite a bit. You can really push the car. You can run these corners a little wide, and the track's a little forgiving as well. Just a great place to race. There's a reason it's been on the schedule for as long as it has been.
Yeah, without a doubt. And of course, I wanted to quick take a look at our points. We do finally have those for you here first, folks, as we get settled in here tonight. Since we're going to be focused on the East, let's take a look at those first. Mark Whitley sits atop the pile. Why don't you take us through some of this competition as, well, now maybe just a little bit different there. There it is. Whitley with 4 wins on the season. We were talking before going on the air. That's a pretty dominant year.
Yeah, he has won every race so far in the Pro Division here in ARCA East with Angel, Cunningham, Sean Kaiser, and Ryzen Baker. The rest of your top 5 at the moment. Over in the Amateur Division, the wins are a bit more split. Alan Smith, Kyle Deering, Pat Samuel Joseph all picking up wins as Alan Smith and Kyle Deering fight for the title over there. Jamie Libke, William Gregory, and Patrick Fuller, the rest of your top 5 in that AM Division.
Yeah, and taking a look here on the West side, a lot more spread out as far as I'm concerned. I mean, Tim Peters gets a win, Joseph McWhorter, Logan Threlkeld, those are your winners over on the pro side, up here in that top 5. Threlkeld, of course, being a really exciting driver to watch on the pro side. And on the AM side, also very well spread out as, once again, Noah Hoagie Hogard picks up his first win of the year last week, but of course leads in the points and gapping Kevin Price by 6 points already at this point in the season. Dave Calvert with a win as well, as it looks like it's about time to grid there on the East side.
Yeah, ARCA East just wrapping up qualifying here, and we'll get ready for the starting lineup here tonight. As on your poll, unsurprisingly here after his dominating performance over the last few weeks, Mark Whitley in the 74 wins the Jam Printing and Promotions Poll Awards. He'll try to go for 5 straight. Ryzen Baker, the only other car within a second of him in qualifying since P2, with Timothy Wilms and Andrew McGarrigle in P4. Patrick Fuller going to roll off from 5th. Mark Cofield from P6. And then rounding out your top 10, we have the 27 of Jacob Ellington, the 16 of Jamie Libke, the 9 of Sidarius Days, the 45 of Sidarius Days in 9th, Samuel Joseph in 10th. Daniel Cunningham will roll off in the 88 in 11th with Brandon Wallace next to him in 12th. James Goshen gets a penalty in the 085, but he's supposed to roll off 13th. Sean Kaiser from 14th. Andrew Carnes goes from 15th tonight in the 19. Michael Jones in the 02 from 16th. Last of your top 20 is Claire Sisk and Colton Sisk in row 9. Joshua Unger and Dakota Cole will be your row 10 tonight. Cole, the last driver to take a qualifying time. The remaining drivers did not get one in, and it includes your top 2 AM drivers. Christopher Tate in the 54 goes from 21st. Alan Smith in the 00 from 22nd. 23rd will be Benjamin Richards in the 56. Kyle Deering from 24th in the 50. Sean Houchin rolls off 26th. My iRacing showing me 25th. Doug Ellingson, either way, will line up next to him. And the last car on the field will be the 66 of John Herman, going from P27. We got a 27-car field tonight for ARCA East. 40 laps around Watkins Glen here. 4 tire sets available. 3 in the pits, 1 on the car. Pit road speed will be 40 miles an hour. Local cautions only, so we're not going to have any full course yellows here. 65% fuel and an iRacing fixed setup, and that lack of full course cautions will make this race go a little bit quicker. Track temp tonight, 117 degrees, so these drivers are going to be slipping and sliding around Watkins Glen tonight. James Goshen, Michael Jones going to the end of the line. Mark Whitley getting ready to go for the green flag here. He'll line up next to Ryzen Baker, and as the pace car pulls in, we'll make our way down the front straightaway. The green flag flies. Whitley is off into turn 1. Oh, Ryzen Baker into the inside wall, trying to get himself through the chicane. Huge hit for that 77 car. And that is massive, massive damage for the driver of that car, who is running in second after starting P2. I was about to take a drink of water, and all of a sudden, Ryzen Baker is going flying across the infield, and that car is in major trouble. You'll see it right here, Ryzen Baker. I was about to say everybody made it through the first few corners cleanly. Just takes too much into that inner chicane, straight into the wall. That 77 car is totaled. He'll have to find a way down pit road here. See if he can get a fast repair to get himself back out on the racetrack. Otherwise, that car might be done. He will certainly go a long way down through the field here after that. Up front, Mark Whitley dominating after Ryzen Baker, the only car within a second of him in qualifying, has ended up out of the race on lap 1. Well, maybe not out of the race, but out of contention to win the race on lap 1 after that big hit. We also had a second car exit out of the race here in a very similar incident. John Houchin has DNF'd from the race. Similar incident, but it was contact from behind. The 2 of Colton Sisk pushed that 44 car into the wall. And now we've got 2 more cars wrecking. Chicane has caused big problems for everybody tonight. That's Patrick Fuller around. Doug Ellingson also just went around further back up the racetrack. This is up front again. These 2 cars were racing for P4 when this happened. Wilms and Fuller into the chicane. Chaos through that corner here on the first couple laps tonight has taken up multiple cars in your top 5. So we stay green for now. Mark Whitley up front. Colton Sisk has had that car towed back to the pits, maybe in relation to that contact that took John Houchin out of the race. We got another car having problems there. That is Doug Ellingson again through one of the latter set of corners. Couple cars in trouble early here at Watkins Glen, but up front, Mark Whitley has pulled out a 2.5-second lead, and it is only lap 3 as he goes for what would be his 4th or 5th consecutive here in ARCA East. Behind him is Andrew McGarrigle in the 11 car, making his ARCA East debut tonight, but he's doing a pretty good job here at the road course. Started 4th up to 2nd after mistakes from cars like Wilms and Baker. Back in 3rd will be Mark Cofield in the 97. He's in a battle right now with Jake Ellingson there, sitting in 4th. Mark Whitley is so dominant that these two cars are already 5 seconds behind him, and we haven't even completed lap 3. That's how good that 74 is. Back in 5th, I believe this will be the amateur class leader right now. It's the 16 of Jamie Libke, running well up from P8. Daniel Cunningham has gone from 11 to P6, and Christopher Tate, who started out back in 21st position, already has that car running up in P7, and he'll look to make a dive here for P6 on the 88 of Cunningham. We'll see if he can get this spot down to the inside. Near contact for those two cars, but the 54 clears him easily, and he will get the position over Cunningham there.
Style starts with the details. The difference between mid and next level, a real gold chain that hits. Lifetime guarantee. Over 36,000 5-star reviews and a free chain with every new order.
Laundry can be really ugh. So choose freshness. The antimicrobial seal, part of the Fresh Flow vent system, helps keep your washer fresh. Whirlpool, everyday care.
Wilms looking to get back up through the field, started in 3rd, but we saw him have that accident as he was working his way through the chicane as they get around the lap car of Colton Sisk. And now sights are set on Sean Kaiser in this 46 car right here. Battle going on up front as Daniel Cunningham has gotten to the inside of Jamie Libke. Both of these cars have been passed by Christopher Tate, who is on a mission in that 54. And Cunningham will get clear there of the 16 of Libke down into the corner for P6. Tate, really one of the big stories of the race here, as he's moved up from 21 to 5 early on. Can't really do it much better than that. Not sure if he's going to have anything here for our leader, Mark Whitley. He's already 9.5 seconds back, but he is running some very, very quick laps behind the wheel of that 54 car. Making big progress. As Sedarius Days is now going to challenge Jamie Libke for the lead of that amateur class. They've got James Goshen, the lap car, kind of in the way of these two here, but Goshen will get out of the way, and that'll let Libke through. We'll see if Goshen gets out of the way down here. He's on the inside of Days, and Days will be able to get around him before we head down into turn 7 at Watkins Glen. Battle is on there for that position, and for one of the higher spots here will be 3rd in the amateur class, because our new driver, Andrew McGarrigle, in the 11. First race here in Goat Locker Arcus competition, but he has been classified as a member of the amateur class, and so he is going to have the lead over there. As here comes Sean Kaiser up the inside of the lap car of James Goshen. He'll get out of the way, and those drivers will make it through fairly clean. That's Timothy Wills in the 86, still trying to track him down, but he hasn't been able to do that yet. Sean Kaiser in the 46 up in front of him. Going single file here, except, oh, Christopher Tate just doored Mark Cofield, and Mark Cofield is going to turn Christopher Tate around. Coming out of the chicane, what a save for that 54 car. That could have got bad in a hurry. You'll see it once again here. We got Jake Ellingson in that 27. Cofield right there in the 97 on the inside. There's contact here through the chicane. The 54 doors Cofield out of the way, and Cofield, not happy, moves that 54 car. Contact with the tire barrier there for him, and that will send him back to 5th. Cofield back to 4th. Jake Ellingson up onto the podium here and 2nd in pro class. We'll get a replay from the POV of Mark Cofield, and yeah, not happy about that contact, and he just sends it right in there. Great job by Christopher Tate to not spin that car out. That could have been a very, very bad moment for a car that has really been one of the faster ones. He's driven through the field here, and he's done a great job to get up to that top 5 position here early on tonight. Christopher Tate already getting back towards Mark Cofield, running some very quick laps here over the last few times. He's not there as we head into the chicane this time, but he is certainly getting close behind the wheel of that 54 car, clawing his way up, trying to catch Cofield. One thing kind of worth noting here is that the curbs in this bus stop are much less threatening than they used to be. They've been reconfigured a little recently. You used to be able to get a lot of air, and that would cause some incidents there in those bus stops, but they've been flattened out, they've been smoothed out. Because of that, you're able to send it a little bit further. Tate is all the way up on that wheel, trying to pursue Cofield to get this move back for 4th. We'll see if he sends it up here clean, or if he maybe gives what he just took from Mark Cofield in that 97 car as he continues to get closer down into turn 1. Still single file here up through most of the field. You've got a couple cars in the pits. Samuel Joseph down pit road. Not sure if there's anything specific that would have caused that, but he is in the pit lane. Dakota Cole has also taken it back to the pits after a big spin for that car. So a couple drivers taking some damage repair as you continue to see Tate up to the bumper here of Mark Cofield. Oh, contact through the corner. They were kind of checked up by the lap car of John Herman, and that nearly got scary there for both of those drivers. 54 looked like there was contact, but he ultimately stayed out of the back of the 97, and now he will try to close back in here on this 97 car of Mark Cofield. Christopher Tate in the 54. Looking to make that move happen. Cofield sliding as Tate all up on the wheel trying to pursue. Cofield's going to pull down to the inside. I wonder if he's going to try to let Tate through here. That he will. Christopher Tate gets the move done. Mark Cofield didn't want to hold him up, and he will go back to P5. Tate has, what a slide there for him. He is really working this car, wearing these tires out, but I mean, it's worked for him. He's got the car up to P4, having a great day right now behind the wheel of that 54. On board now with that 74 car of Mark Whitley as we're mostly single file here through the field. He's got a 9.7 second lead on McGarrigle, 11 on that 11 car. We're only 9 laps into this race. I reckon on the last lap, Mark Whitley could probably get up from his rig and lay down in that bed behind him, and McGarrigle still wouldn't have crossed the start-finish line at this rate. He is putting on a clinic right now. Huge lead. Hi, Mark. You're dominating. Look at that lap time difference. 2 seconds between Whitley and McGarrigle. Half a second between Whitley and Ellingson. I mean, it's just domination here. We'll see if Ellingson can ultimately catch up to McGarrigle. He is starting to close in that 27 car. That 11, the leader of your amateur class right now. Ellingson second in the pro division. We have our next DNF. Dakota Cole has quit out of the session, and he will be done for the night behind the wheel of that 31 after a few early spins. We've already got some cars laps down. Brandon Wallace, James Goshen, Samuel Joseph, John Herman all lap down, and then Dakota Cole, John Houchin out of the race, Doug Ellingson, Colton Sisk 3 and 5 down respectively. Claire Sisk currently last car on the lead lap as you watch McGarrigle here. And you can tell how hard he is working that 11 car because you can see his camera shaking. That is from him turning his wheel and it's shaking his entire setup. He is going at it right now in that 11, but I mean, he has nothing for Mark Whitley. It's still an 11-second gap. His focus is on Christopher Tate behind after a big slip up from Jake Ellingson. Tate has pulled that car up into P3. 54 on the move here right now. 21st to the podium in that 54 car. So we take lap 11 here in the ARCA East Series, in the Glove Station ARCA Series. Got some battles trying to go a little further back in the amateur class. You've got that 50 of, this is going to be Kyle Deering, the 00 of Alan Smith back here as well. These two are doing battle for this position. This is going to be the 12 car Claire Sisk trying to get around the outside of Alan Smith. Claire will get it done pretty easily there. She'll move up into that 17th position. Unger 51 in 16th. Alan Smith running in 18th as we get some moves back here towards the end of the lead lap. Cars who are not too far from being swallowed by Mark Whitley. That's a lot of marbles on the track. How did those get there? Someone took a big ride through that turn 8 area and kicked up a lot of debris on the track here pretty recently. And that's going to make that corner extra slippery as these drivers try to make their way through it. 50 car Mark Cofield, you're seeing right now second in the amateur division points as he runs in P12 at the moment. You can see a replay of Mark Deering. Kyle Deering, excuse me. He, well, I'm not sure what happened. We got one car way off. Is that Doug Ellingson? Might have been Doug Ellingson we saw way off there. And, oh, he just slides, loses it into the inside wall. A little tap. That might be an unsafe pit entry, black flag there. We'll have to check that. Yes, it is for Kyle Deering, and that'll be devastating to that 50 car. He's going to have some problems behind the wheel of that thing. We're going to announce the winner of a giveaway here. We'll get this back to you at the end of the race, but we're going to announce it right now for drivers who might be watching the broadcast waiting for this to be announced. Winner of the Tony Kanaan Racing Gloves, Skylar Daly. Winner of the Aero McLaren Polo, Jacob Lanky. So you two are going to be the winners of the drawing here tonight. And we'll announce that again at the end of the race for people who have not been here, but those two are your winners, Skylar Daly and Jacob Lanky, getting those prizes here in the giveaway, as Whitley is still out front of McGarrigle and Tate and Ellingson and Cofield and Cunningham up here in your top 5 positions. Christopher Tate trying to get around McGarrigle in the battle for P2 right now. Tate is going to have the inside up into the chicane. Let's see what he can do. Whoa! Big loose moment there for the 54. Got it saved. He's really wheeling that car. I mean, we've seen him out of shape, loose as heck about 7 times this race. And I am shocked that he has managed to hold on to it, because I have to imagine with the high track temp tonight, the tires on that 54 car are absolutely screaming for help. 118 degrees right now, and he has been shipping it around here at top speed for all 13 laps so far here tonight. I'm going to come up on the lap car here of Joshua Unger. Let's see if this can maybe help out him to make a pass. Garrigle back clear. Tate will try to challenge. They were very equal on lap times last time around, but that was after Tate almost spun the car through the chicane, and now it's a bad exit for McGarrigle, and Tate is there in the 54. He'll follow him through the S's, through the uphill. He might take another peek here in the chicane. He's going to want to maximize his run out of this corner as they catch up to the lap car of Colton Sisk in the 2. Christopher Tate, Andrew McGarrigle in the 11 and the 54 respectively. Will Tate make the move this time? No, he won't. He'll stay behind the 11. Continues to stalk that car, but not close enough to ultimately make the move yet. And the 11 gets another good run out of the corner to solidify his advantage as these two come up on the lap cars of Claire Sisk and Alan Smith. Oh, problems behind these cars. Colton Sisk has gone around on the exit of the corner and has towed that car back to the pits. We are going to send it over to Arco West now, where they're just getting ready to start. Dave, how's it going over there?
Qualifying is complete. Just 2 drivers did not decide to qualify. That was Timothy Peters and Darren Price. But let's take a look here at our starting lineup. Earning the Jam Printing and Promotions Pole Award is going to be Joseph McWhorter in the 72 car. Out of Plainfield, Indiana, we are local and we are veteran certified, and when we do well, we can do more good in the community. Since forming in 2013, JAM has contributed printing and promotional sponsorships to more than 60 local nonprofits, with a primary focus on organizations that assist veterans, women, and children. They have been with Goat Locker Racing since the very beginning, and they provide GLR with all promotional items, including shirts, hats, decals, dog tags, you name it. JAM is GLR's go-to promotional company. And going through the rest of our starting lineup, starting in second on the outside of row number 1, going to be Huling Kauser in his number 91. Barrett Morton is going to be in row number 2 alongside of Logan Santa Claus Threlkeld. Tyler Justice and Charles Stevens going to be in row 3, while row 4 is going to be headlined by George Jewell and Eldon Stewart. Row 5 going to be Brock Price and Dylan Canova, one of our winners from last week, while Charles Abert and Jeremiah Holt in the 73 back for more, starting in row number 6. Then row 7 is going to be Craig Bontrager and Daniel Parks in 13th and 14th, while 15th and 16th going to be Jacob Lenke and Dave Calvert Sr. 17th going to be Skylar Daly and Kevin Price, while 19th is going to go to Chuck Pegleg Feltz and Noah Hoagie Hogard. 21st going to be Jason Kristen and Thaddeus Friel Jr. in his 08 machine. As we look deeper into the field here, it's going to be Armando Melgosa. He'll be in 23rd with Hayden Muir in 24th. Alan Bergen going to be on the inside of row 15, while Ashton Azro Nolan and Larry Poling in 27th and 28th. And not taking the start tonight going to be Timothy Peters. So Poling going to be shotgun on the field as we've got just about a full lap to get things started here at Watkins Glen. 40 laps the scheduled distance. You folks were watching the East Series, and now here we are focusing on the West Series. As these drivers, same situation at home, folks. There's the Pro Division and the AM Division. And tonight, of course, we're going to be focused on a lot of these Pro drivers. But the question always remains, will tonight be the night that one of the AM drivers gets the natural win tonight? And we appreciate everybody tuning in as I catch my breath now after doing my very best auctioneer chant to get through our starting lineup as the iRacing.com pace car brings us down the long stretch into the bus stop. And, you know, you can call it a chicane, you can call it a bus stop. Either way, it's definitely a pain in the butt. And we saw in the East Division just a few minutes ago, a lot of drivers, especially on the opening laps on those cold tires, getting bit by the cold tire bug. And, you know, not having such a great transition here into that chicane. And, you know, here's the thing. That track temperature, as we noted earlier, it's exactly the same here in the West that it is in the East. So it's still north of 115 degrees, 119 now here in the West Division. So, you know, all things considered, just like Sky said, these drivers are going to be slip sliding around something fierce. We see that all the time here at Watkins Glen. And don't get me wrong, I think part of that is what makes this place special. As we work our way down toward the penultimate turn, as we head just toward the final couple of turns here before we turn them loose here in the GLR Glove Station ARCA Series right here on V-Speed, as the iRacing.com pace car gets ready to peel on down pit road. Joseph McWhorter with control of the field. The only thing that's left to do is it's time to wipe the visor and adjust the 5-point harness. Grandma, grab your popcorn, call a friend, and settle in. Race fans, it's show time! Green flag in the air, off we go at Watkins Glen. Joseph McWhorter hauling the mail down into turn 1. Let's see if everybody can make it through here nice and easy, and they pretty much do. A couple of drivers opting to go wide here, and I say opting, but sometimes it's a matter of keeping that car alive. We work our way into the S's and down the backstretch for the first time tonight here on lap number 1. These drivers ripping past at blistering speeds on the asphalt, and it's just, to me, this is a thing of beauty. And of course, a huge tip of the cap to Eddie Smith working the cameras tonight in the production truck. These angles are something you aren't going to see too many places on the iRacing.com servers. As that camera floats just off to the side here at the carousel, we head on down toward the penultimate turn. Tonight is Joseph McWhorter going to get credit for leading the first lap so far. Right now, he's got Huling Kauser in hot pursuit, about 0.4 of a second behind, and Kauser able to close some of that gap on entrance into the penultimate. And as we come into the final turn, it looks like maybe McWhorter able to gap him just a little bit more. He went from 4/10 to now a half second, and crossing the start-finish line is Joseph McWhorter. He gets himself across, and he'll get credit for leading the first lap here at Watkins Glen. I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight and making us a part of your evening, and thank you for welcoming us into your homes and onto your phones, wherever you may be and however you may be listening. As we look a little deeper back into the field here, Dylan Canova, one of our winners from last week, running right now in 12th position. He just gave up 2 spots after qualifying and now runs in 12th position. He trails Jeremiah Holt by less than 1/10 of a second. He's all over the rear bumper of the 73. We can see him looking to the right side, the inside of this turn. They're going to go side by side nearly into the bus stop. They don't pull it off there, and it looks like the 73 now, Jeremiah Holt, going to have to give the position away as Canova crawls back up into 11th. The Lakeland, Florida native now running in 11th position, trying to get back to where he had started in 10th, P10. All of a sudden, I couldn't get all of the words out of my mouth at the same time. We look elsewhere here, and Jason Kristen in the 82 machine, he's currently running +4 on the timing tower. So after qualifying 21st, now running in 17th, he's going to work his way alongside of Chuck Pegleg Feltz there in the 75, and now gets himself into 16th position. All of this, Brock Price all over the front stretch now as he tries to gather himself up going into turn 1. What a mess. Let's see what happened here as we go back to the V-Speed instant replay. Brock Price coming toward the front stretch and just gets it all kinds of wild into the safer barrier there on the left side of the racetrack and can't get it off. It almost seems like maybe there was a hardware failure. As we go back live, he's now running a lot deeper in the field, as now he's back in 18th position is Brock Price. Whoa. And now the 43 off track as there's suddenly a battle for the lead heating up. Julian Kowser just laid down fast time at 1 minute 11 seconds, .32, and he is creeping in ever closer to Joseph McWhorter. We go on board now with Kowser, and Kowser giving it all he's got down the front stretch, crossing the start-finish line here in the 91. Sets himself up just to the left of the 72, and now McWhorter looks in the rearview mirror. He sees what he's got going on, and all of a sudden he just gives it everything on that throttle as we work our way into the S's. So for a second, it looked like we were going to have a pretty tight battle, and all of a sudden, Joseph McWhorter grabs an extra gear and takes off down the backstretch toward the chicane. And Kowser again with fast time on the racetrack at 1 minute 11 seconds, .27. That lap actually 700th of a second faster than McWhorter. As we're going to take a quick look here, as Armando Melgoza and Ashton Azra Nolan just swap positions here, 19th and 20th, as Melgoza crawls up into 19th. He's on a forward march, as is Azra Nolan. They're up a combined 11 positions between the two drivers, but Melgoza up 4. Melgoza hauling down into the bus stop, and while he goes to the bus stop, we're going to swing on back over to Sky in the East Division.
Mark Whitley still putting on a clinic over here in the 74 car. 15-second lead over the 54 car of Christopher Tate. 25-second lead over Andrew McGarrigle in the 11, who is the current leader of your amateur class. It is pure domination for the driver of that 74 car, Mark Whitley. As we've seen pit stops happen here for most of the field over the course of the last lap or two. Drivers coming down at halfway, putting 4 tires on the car here, which are going to be much needed for a lot of these drivers, which is how slick this track is and how much the tires have been wearing tonight with the increased track temperature. Over the course of Mark Whitley's 20-lap run here in the race, his tires fell off pretty dramatically, especially towards the midpoint, and now that he's back on fresh rubber, he should have a better time making his way around here and running good laps behind the wheel of that 74 car. Closest battle on track is side by side for P20. Samuel Joseph and Alan Smith are going to go at it here for position, and it looks like Joseph will get that spot down into the corner. It's Alan Smith, the leader of your amateur class coming into this race, but he has not had a good one here tonight. Not going to be able to build on his 2 amateur class wins so far this season as he drops back to 20th, 1 lap down. The last car 1 lap down. It has not been the race that 00 would have wanted here tonight at Watkins Glen. As now we've got a battle going on with Daniel Cunningham and Ryzen Baker. The 77 started up in P2, had to take a faster pair after crashing himself into the wall on lap 1. He is back on it, and he is around for P5, the 88 of Daniel Cunningham. What a move there through the S's by Ryzen Baker to get himself clear. The 88 will try to challenge as they go around the lap car of Colton Sisk, but I don't think Cunningham quite has anything for him. And Baker will get clear. Pass made right behind him as well. Sean Kaiser in the 49 got around Jamie Libke in the 16 at basically the same time there down that straightaway. And Libke's going to get stuck here behind the lap car of Colton Sisk, so that'll get Sean Kaiser even further away behind the wheel of that 46 car. Not a lot of close battles on track right now. Everyone's single file. 2 closest cars are Baker and Cunningham among drivers racing for position, but Baker is pretty rapidly pulling away from that 88 car, so it doesn't look like Daniel Cunningham will be able to get back up to the 77. Mark Whitley has lapped all but 10 cars today. Only Whitley, Tate, McGarrigle, Ellingson, Baker, Cunningham, Kaiser, Libke, Days, and Wilms currently sit on the lead lap. Mark Cofield in the 97 on back are all 1 lap down. Current top 10 here in the pro class: Mark Whitley, Christopher Tate, Jake Ellingson, Ryzen Baker, Daniel Cunningham, Sean Kaiser, Tim Wilms, Michael Jones, Brandon Wallace, and James Goshen. Your top 5 in AM are going to be McGarrigle, Libke, Days, Cofield, and then Patrick Fuller sitting in 12th. Rounds out your AM class. Also on the lead lap there is going to be Kyle Deeringer. 1 lap down is going to be Deering. We're going to go back over to ARCA West where Dave Regal's got some action going on. How's it going, Dave?
A couple of drivers down pit road. Thaddeus Friel had a bad few moments a few laps ago as, of course, the East Division just passed halfway. Now we're just approaching 25%. Let's look at Friel. As we see, or I'm sorry, Frauheiger here in the 03. Frauheiger once again, almost calamity corner. Oh, hits those barrels full of water and gets himself landed right here at the entrance to the front stretch. And here's the thing with Frauheiger. I mean, you know, everybody that I've seen having problems today on the racetrack it's been coming out of that final turn and onto the front stretch. Meanwhile, the 72 of Joseph McWhorter is out here making some hay. He's got Barrett Morton and Julian Kauser in hot pursuit, and Morton is trying to hold off Santa as Logan Threlkeld is hot on his trails. He has got no front bumper on there. That is officially an air-cooled race car for the 9, as now he is door handle to door handle with the 30 coming out of the final turn and onto the front stretch. They get their way past Barney, and now Logan Threlkeld takes over 3rd position, passing Barrett Morton. And Morton still not trying to give up anything here as he is all over the 30. He said, hey, listen, man, front nose clip or not, I want that position. And I just don't think he's going to get it, at least not right now. Maybe a quick pit stop in a little while may help, but track position is going to be really important here, especially not having any caution flags. A couple of drivers coming off of pit road. That's Ashton Ezra Nolan. Poling is still sitting on pit road, and it looks like Thaddeus Friel just made his exit. As now all of a sudden the 30 of Threlkeld has his hands full with Barrett Morton. We go on board now with Tyler Justice here in the 33. Now Justice is about to be the next driver to get on by Barrett Morton. You know, the question is, how did Barrett Morton get to where he is, and how is he still being as competitive as he is? You know, in a racetrack like this one, especially when there's so many technical things going on around you, still managing to maintain a top 5 position like Barrett Morton is impressive to me, as Byron George's very own Tyler Justice is ready to gobble up the 9 of Barrett Morton. Noah Hoagie Hogard showing a yellow flag back here deeper in the field, as obviously he's got himself some problems. Picked up the AM win last week, not as much success this week for Hogard, as we suddenly have a battle breaking out for the lead once again. Julian Kauser decided he wants another piece of the action here with Joseph McWhorter. He's now drawn himself into just over a quarter of a second, 3/10 now, as he has been slowly but surely chipping away at the lead that McWhorter has. Now, over the last several laps, we've seen a couple of these drivers try to make a name for themselves, but they haven't been able to do it successfully yet. Julian Kauser thinks he's got it, but, you know, looking at some of these lap times, he's been running faster than McWhorter now for at least the last 4 laps, as now we've approached that 25% length of the race covered as we cross the line here at lap number 11. It's going to be Joseph McWhorter, Julian Kauser, Logan Threlkeld. That's your top 3. And there's 7 seconds between Kauser and Threlkeld. So right now, just a two-way battle for the lead, as all of a sudden, McWhorter able to scamper away from Kauser. It's almost like he owed him lunch money. We go on board now with Kauser here in the 91, and they are all of a sudden in all kinds of traffic. The 84 gets into all kinds of a mess here. That's the lap car now of Hayden Muir, causing all kinds of disaster. And side by side go Kauser and McWhorter down into the bus stop. Kauser thought that he had him for a second, and he might have if the 84 wasn't there. We hit the carousel and go downhill toward the penultimate, and McWhorter just that easily starts to step back away from Kauser. So an interesting development here as we go back on board now with Kauser, looking toward that rear bumper of the 72 of Joseph McWhorter. The 84 of Hayden Muir.
Our program is back, and it's going to be bigger and bolder than ever, providing more support for more women entrepreneurs. 75% of women business owners need specialized training. So for 250 women, we're offering hands-on skill building.
How to turn a no into a yes.
And because it can be harder for women to connect with other business networks, we're helping them build lasting support systems through mentorship.
Be re-inspired by so many different women.
But we know women face inequalities in funding. 53% of women-owned businesses rely on personal savings, with less than 3% receiving venture capital funding. We're changing that by offering $20,000 to 20 women.
This is an opportunity that will be pivotal in our company.
This is more than a program. It's a movement, and we want you to be a part of it. Apply now.
Tyler Justice is just here on that left quarter panel of the 9 of Barrett Morton, and Justice starts to close in. And once again, Morton's been holding on to that top 5 or top 4 that is, for quite a while, missing the front nose clip, and he's putting up quite a fight now as the 33 of Justice almost gets past him, drawing in the 1. They go side by side into the bus stop. Morton's not going to give up any real estate, and they go side by side down into the carousel. The 33 finally makes his way by, but Barrett Morton was not about to just give this position away as he slides into 5th position now, and you can tell by the way that he's driving behind the 33. There's a little bit of aggression in that wheel motion, and he's driving very angrily as he was fighting his brains out just to stay as competitive as he was against Tyler Justice. All of that was going on with Eldon Stewart behind, and now the 9 and the 33 still having to do battle as now they have to get around the double deuce of Skylar Daly. The 22 has to fall by the wayside, and the 9 of Barrett Morton is ready to give all kinds of hell and havoc to the 33 of Tyler Justice, as he wants P4 back and he wants it bad. We take a look at our split. Charles Abert leads the way with Jacob Lanke running P2 for the AM division. Daniel Parks in the 71 and Chuck Pegleg Feltz rounds out the top 4 on the AM side. Joseph McWhorter, Huling Kauser, Logan Threlkeld, and Tyler Justice lead the way for, of course, your pro division. And Charles Abert, even though he's leading the AM division, currently running overall 9th, so still holding on to a good top 10 as we go on board now. Oh my. Dylan Canova, of course, our winner from last week, currently running in 7th position. Oh, they're wrecking behind him. The 84 is around. That's Hayden Muir, pointed the wrong way. Hayden Muir having a rough go of it. Nearly caused the leaders to wreck just a few moments ago, and now does it to himself as Joseph McWhorter and Huling Kauser still roll here atop the pile. Barrett Morton in the 9, just ahead of now Eldon Stewart in his ace. They've got to get around the 89. That's Alan Bergen. He's deciding to take the conservative approach tonight and not try to give anybody too many fits. Morton now leading. Oy, this is going to get ugly fast. Morton now leading the 1 here. Back down the backstretch as he's gapping him by about a quarter of a second. But Eldon Stewart is not going to be kept back there very long. Stewart's been running consistently faster than Morton for about the last 5 laps, and he's been almost a half second on lap 14 and a little bit less than a half second on lap 13. And now as we come around here on 14, a half second faster as we turn lap 15 of 40. Here at Watkins Glen, you're watching the GLR Glove Station ARCA Series live on V-Speed. Want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. Make sure to subscribe and turn on those notifications so you can be told every time we go live here on Speed. Joseph McWhorter is your race leader tonight. He's going to be followed by Huling Kauser, Logan Threlkeld, Tyler Justice, and Barrett Morton. That's your top 5. But the story of the night right now is Joseph McWhorter holding on to his race lead, and Huling Kauser, he's able to reel himself into about 3 to 4/10 of a second and can't get any closer. He just went from 2.6 seconds to now just over a 1/6 of a tenth. Well, never mind, just kidding. He's now at about a half second behind McWhorter. So Huling Kauser, he wasn't necessarily as they both have to work around the 78 of Armando Melgosa, I'm sorry, once again. But Kauser has been giving McWhorter fits, and I mean, he just can't seem to seal the deal. And now as we work lap number 16, we're at 25 to go now at Watkins Glen here on the West Division. And as they come across the line, Joseph McWhorter going to be credited for yet another lap led. All the while, Kauser runs 7/10 slower. And just as we take a look at those times, we're going to hand things back off to Sky Schrack over in the East Division. Sky, what do you have going on in the East?
It's the Mark Whitley show once again here. He is about to take lap 35 when he comes around, and he has a 26-second lead on Christopher Tate. 26-second lead over Christopher Tate. I don't know what you want me to tell you. It's been a dominating performance for Mark Whitley as he goes to claim his 5th consecutive ARCA East Series win. Christopher Tate, he's done great. He went from 21st to 2nd. Done an amazing job to manage that car, to drive it up through the field, but he just has absolutely nothing for your 74 of Mark Whitley, who is dominating here tonight. Andrew McGarrigle still sits 3rd in a battle with the 77 of Ryzen Baker. The 77 all over the bumper of the 11 car, trying to reclaim that position here. Started up on P2, hasn't been there since that lap 1 accident, but late in the race, he'd like to get himself back up at least to P3 here after taking that fast repair. Baker will hound him through turn 7. He's got a little bit of a punched-in nose, but that does not seem to be stopping him behind the wheel of that NR 2003 style 77 car. And they'll stay even off the corner as we take 6 to go for these drivers. Whitley took 6 to go about 40 seconds ago. Ryzen Baker is still trying to chase down McGarrigle, the top driver in the amateur class, and Baker is way wide there, almost scrapes the fence at a turn 1. That is going to really set that 77 car back, and he'll have to re-rack him here if he wants to close back in on Andrew McGarrigle and get himself a finish up on the podium here tonight. McGarrigle dominating that amateur class right now. Huge lead for him over there as well. I'm not sure who the second place car is there. It might be Sedarius Days. We'll check. It is Sedarius Days there in 8th, and he is 17 seconds behind McGarrigle at the present moment. As Ryzen Baker is still back on the bumper of McGarrigle. He's closed that gap back up. He's running faster lap times here. So McGarrigle trying to break the toe there a little bit like he's at Indy down that straightaway, swerving it back and forth as the 77 takes a peek to the outside here. He's going to try to get as much as he can down into the corner, into the bumper of that 11 car. He's loose up in front of him as these two stay nose to tail. 5 laps to go for this battle. Ryzen Baker wants P3 bad, and I think he is a little faster, but McGarrigle is not letting him through. He'll try the switchback here, high to low for the 77 to maximize his momentum, but even that doesn't give Baker what he needs in order to get this spot. He is really trying to get himself a podium here, and it is just not working out for that 77 car right now. Still on the bumper. He's going to move the 11 out of the way here as we come out onto the straightaway. This might give him a nose up into the chicane. Let's see. No, Baker backs out. Still doesn't have what he needs. This is an amazing job of defending by Andrew McGarrigle to hold off this hard-charging 77 car and just give him problems. Sedarius Days is slow. Has he wrecked it or is he in the pit lane? Let's check that out. Sedarius Days is in the pit lane. Fuel stop for that 45 car. He's one of a couple drivers making his second stop on the day. Did not save enough gas. The 45 could not make it to the end. He will come out still second in the AM class, but he will come out much further back and will lose a couple positions on the racetrack, as Ryzen Baker still has not gotten around McGarrigle here with 4 to go. They're back across the line. He's going to go a little shallower into turn 1 this time to try to get that run going. They're both way over the apron. Nothing doing there as both cars running all the way up to that far wall to maximize their run. It's really all about momentum here at Watkins Glen. We've seen that all night, drivers trying to take these corners in a way that gives them the best run out of the corner. You've seen Ryzen Baker do it quite a few times tonight, and that's just one example there where the cars go straight through that corner and run it all the way out to the outside wall, try and manage their speed. As Ryzen Baker continues to hound the 11 car, but he is starting to run out of time here. It's only going to be 3 to go for him when he crosses the line this time around. And even though he was running faster lap times for quite a bit than McGarrigle, just hasn't seemed able to get it. And one thing that's playing a role in this battle is fuel. You can't go too hard. You can't go too fast, or else you might have a fuel problem, as Ryzen Baker is still shoving McGarrigle. He's going much deeper into that final corner. The 11 is just not getting out of the way, and Ryzen Baker is going to shove him all the way down into turn 1 here. A lot of bumper-to-bumper contact between these two, but the 11 is staying stuck in his way, and both cars are loose as they're all the way out to that far wall. Baker, he's been pushing, he's been shoving, but he cannot find his way around the 11. And this is the furthest he's been here in quite a hot minute. He's going to need to gather this back up to close back in to the 11 of McGarrigle. He'll take a peek to the inside, and the chicane goes straight over the curb. He'll be outside on the switchback, but he'll have the inside on exit, and that's what Ryzen Baker needs to finally make the move. He'll go to 3rd. McGarrigle has the better run out of the chicane, and we're going to go back even here down the straightaway. Baker all the way out to the wall trying to gain momentum, but it does not happen. What a move for Andrew McGarrigle to hold the spot. Ryzen Baker can't do anything to pass him in that 77. 2 laps to go for this battle for P3. What a battle it is. Look at a car in the pits here with a black flag. This is going to be Claire Siska's a meatball. This is Christopher Tate in the 54 into the pits with a black flag. He was running in P2. I'm not sure what that is for. He might have been speeding into the pit lane there. He definitely came down for fuel. Problems with fuel for that 54 car, and that means that this is going to be the battle for second right here between McGarrigle and Ryzen Baker. With Tate going a lap down here, he won't even get a top 5 finish in the pro class. Disaster for that car after going from 21 to 2. White flag Mark Whitley as this battle still makes its way back through the chicane. Ryzen Baker working on the 11. We're going to get to show you both of these here because Mark Whitley is about 50 seconds out in front of this battle. So as Mark Whitley shoots himself through the S's and heads up to the chicane, these cars are still making their way through turn 6. It is domination for Mark Whitley as Ryzen Baker is still hounding the 11. He's got one more time around to try to make the move stick this time. The 77's always faster through this last corner, but he's slippery out of there this time, and that might neuter his run. 11 car of Andrew McGarrigle holds on. White flag for these drivers as Mark Whitley continues to make his way around. Baker is going to go way wide to maximize his run as there's only 2 corners left to go for Mark Whitley. He'll slide his way down through turn 8 and out of the final corner by 50 seconds. Mark Whitley wins his 5th straight in ARCA East at Watkins Glen. And it's going to be a while before we see the second place cars come around because it's Ryzen Baker and it's Andrew McGarrigle here battling for P2. McGarrigle has the win of the amateur class virtually locked up. Baker has the win, or excuse me, second in the pro class basically locked up. But this is the battle for second on the racetrack here tonight. And McGarrigle is loose out of the corner. Will that give Ryzen Baker the jump he needs? 2 more chances, but he might be too far back. As we head into turn 7, it's a big lead for McGarrigle, and Ryzen Baker is out of gas. And McGarrigle is also out of gas. Both cars out of gas as we make our way through the final corner. And Ryzen Baker is going to have more. I have no idea who's going to make it to the line first, but it looks like it's going to be Andrew McGarrigle by a nose. Never mind, Ryzen Baker got it back. Oh my goodness. Jake Ellingson wrecks coming to the line. I don't even know what to tell you. McGarrigle had it, but suddenly that car slowed up 20 miles an hour right at the end, and Ryzen Baker shot past him. I think McGarrigle must have gotten on the brakes, and that's how Ryzen Baker got him. Oh my goodness. Look at this. Ryzen Baker has the advantage. He slows up. McGarrigle goes through. I think McGarrigle had it, but then he just hits the brakes here before the line, and Ryzen Baker gets it at the line. And Jake Ellingson totals himself into the tire barrier. Oh my lord. Yeah, I got nothing for you. Here's Jake Ellingson. Kamikaze. Well, that'll be the end of our race at Watkins Glen, and I do not think that could have possibly ended in a more dramatic fashion. I have never seen a battle for second come down to both drivers running out of fuel with 2 corners to go, but you see something new every day here in the Goat Locker ARCA series. Oh my goodness. We're going to interview the 77 car, Mark Whitley, because it feels like he was basically the only driver in the field tonight that did not run out of fuel. Mark Whitley, how you doing?
Doing pretty good. Just ran out.
Well, you made it to the line at least. That was better than the battle for second. I don't know if you saw, but second and third both ran out of gas and drag raced to the line on empty. 50-second win tonight, I believe, after all that happened. Actually, let me fact check this. 57-second win after both of those cars ran out of gas. How did you get it done?
Yeah, just was able to just put together smooth lap times. Had a lot better start than last night. Just by hitting my marks, and I was able to be smooth and save fuel at the same time just by backing up the corner, short shifting, just the normal stuff to save. And thankfully, only had really one incident with a lap car, and that wasn't really anybody's fault. It was like he just hit the curb wrong and spun out, and I was able to stop before I got to him. So could have been a lot worse for us, but thankfully everything turned out pretty good.
You got 5 straight wins here in ARCA East. Bye week next week. What are you going to do to try to keep this streak up for the rest of the season?
Just keep trying to repeat everything. I mean, everything's I don't feel like I've done anything weird or different. So just try to do the same thing every week, and hopefully we can keep coming out on top. I feel like we had a really good stretch of racetracks right there that I felt really confident at. So I'm not really sure where we're at after we come back from the bye, but just hopefully, I think that's been a big key. Is just we've been at really good tracks for me, and just being able to keep the momentum rolling.
All right, anyone you have to thank tonight?
A big shout out Brantley over at Harpoon Design. He does awesome work. Check him out if you need a paint job made. HarpoonDesign.com. Jawa.gg, #1 online marketplace for gamers, PC gaming. You need an upgrade or a new system. Check them out. All the league sponsors here. If it hit the Garrett Looker, Invets, Glove Station, Lincoln Tech, Save 22, Indiana Department of Veteran Affairs, everybody that makes this league what it is. All the fans tuning in. Vector over in Harpoon chat. I know he's watching. And hopefully my teammate can over there in the West can go finish it out, and we can sweep the night.
All right, congrats on the win tonight, Mark Whitley.
Thank you, guys.
We're going to take it over to our amateur class winner now, the 11 of Andrew McGarrigle. Andrew, do you got a copy?
I do.
What was that last lap like there? Not only trying to hold off Ryzen Baker, but also both of you running out of fuel.
Yeah, it was absolutely terrifying. I'm gonna be completely honest. I pit there and I looked at my fuel and I was like, oh god, I'm gonna be a lap short. So yeah, that was definitely sketchy. But special thanks to Lincoln Tech, Save 22, Glove Station, the Indiana Department of Veteran Affairs, and of course Mobile One for giving me a great car. That was a lot of fun. And yeah, to your credit, like you were saying, man, I had no idea how I was being scored. I wasn't sure if I was in the amateur race or if I was in the pro race. And yeah, running out on that front stretch was terrifying.
I thought you were going to get second for a minute there, but Ryzen Baker ultimately got you by a 10th. What happened when he slowed down at the end? Did you just run out completely? Was there like nothing pushing it?
Well, I ran out in that last turn there coming to the start finish line, and like I said, I wasn't sure how I was being scored. I looked over to the broadcast. And I was like, oh wait, I'm amateur, so I wasn't sure if I was supposed to hit the brakes, let him by, or if I was supposed to race into the line. So I was like, I'm just gonna be conservative and just let him have it.
All right, ultimately P3 tonight, but still a good run and still the amateur win here in your first start. Anyone you have to thank?
Yeah, again, thank you to Mobile One and everybody put this on here at Go Locker. I appreciate it. It was a lot of fun for my first start.
All right, congrats on your amateur win tonight, Andrew McGarrigle.
Thank you very much.
We're going to send it back over to Dave Regal, and he is going to have the end of the ARCA West race. Got any more action for the lead over there, Dave?
Things have definitely gotten a little strung out here, if you will, at Watkins Glen for the West Division. Joseph McWhorter was doing battle for several laps with Julian Kauser for most of this race, and all of a sudden he has decided to just set sail and gap the bejesus out of him. Julian Kauser, after pit cycles, came down on lap number 20 and is now running in 8th position. That leaves Joseph McWhorter all by his lonesome up atop the pile of the pro drivers. It's McWhorter, Threlkel, Justice, Canova, and Morton, your top 5. Jacob Lanke, however, he's currently leading the AM division. And Lanke, here's the deal. This is a tough racetrack to get around. It's at least for my opinion, it is. Lanke is down 2 laps, I lie, and currently overall running in 12th. So, that shows you just how tight this competition is, especially in the pro division, where your top 10 are all your lead lap drivers. George Jewell is your first driver a lap down. He's a pro driver. And then the best of the rest with the AM drivers, with Lanke running in 12th right now. He started in 15th, so he's quietly worked his way up 3 positions as he works through turn number 1 here. And now Chuck Pegleg Feltz moves into that AM P2, as Chuck he's jumped up 6 positions after qualifying P19, runs 13th for the time being. And, before I forget, and we would be remiss if we didn't have time to look at it, let's take a look at Chuck's camera. First of all, if there's anybody I want with me in a bar fight, it's Chuck Feltz. This dude says tough just with his face. He's got that direct drive wheel, and you can see all the work that he's putting into that wheel as he works his way around the carousel turn and heading toward the penultimate turn. The concentration that it takes on a racetrack like this, especially having to downshift, you see that Chuck's not using paddle shifters. He's got a traditional gear shift down alongside of his seat. So he's not out there, just casually hitting those flappers. He's got to reach down with one hand, hold onto the wheel, and shift gears at the same time. That's got to be incredibly difficult for somebody who's doing this at home, and even more difficult once we get into the real world application. As Chuck Feltz right now, as I had mentioned, running 14th position, up 5 from where he had qualified, and runs P3 in the AM standings tonight. 11 laps to go. It'll be 10 next time by here in the GLR Glove Station ARCA Series. We want to thank our friends at Glove Station, because here at Glove Station we're committed to providing quality gloves and protective gear for a wide range of your daily activities and jobs, from tinkering on home DIYs to working in industrial environments and everything in between. We've got you covered. With endless amounts of safety products on the market, we want to make it effortless for you to find the right protection for your needs. Head on over to glovestation.com. And overall, as we see here on the left-hand side, Joseph McWhorter, our race leader, he's leading Logan Threlkeld, Tyler Justice, Dylan Canova, and Barrett Morton. Now, Barrett Morton, if we can quick take a look here, he's got the front nose clip left back on his car. So he obviously went down, got that fast repair engaged, and even without the front nose clip, Barrett Morton was running P4 for a good portion of this race up until a little while ago. So obviously a skilled driver. He probably could have put the fear of God into Joseph McWhorter, but McWhorter has just been in his own zip code tonight, as now Morton working his way toward the S's in the backstretch where that bus stop awaits, getting just up behind now the 91, and that's the 91 of Huling Kauser, with Jeremiah Holt in hot pursuit. Holt now closing into just about 3/4 of a second while George Jewell bails off the racetrack. He goes down pit road. And Huling Kauser on the recovery drive after basically running P2 and playing second fiddle to Joseph McWhorter all night long, now has to get around the number 42 lung dart machine of Ashton Azro Nolan. He gets around the Marlboro machine and now hauls things toward that final turn and gets wild and crazy coming through the final turn and back to the start-finish line. We're 9 laps to go, and we've had a changing of the guard on the AM side. Now Kevin Price runs P1 on the AM side with Charles Abert. The 37 is down pit road. That's Jacob Lenke. Lenke getting service as now he's going to blow on off of there. He's got the meatball. Let's go to the replay. And we can see Lenke here coming through the S's up toward the bus stop. He gets right alongside of Azro Nolan. A little crossover move in front of him, still heading toward the bus stop. And who wants to bet that he overshoots here? Oh, he came in wild. Oh, wow. Oh, couldn't have stopped at just one. It had to be the other, and it's not even a safer barrier. That's one of the tire walls. Thank goodness that's a simulation, as we've got a lead change getting ready to happen here. Lenke was leading the amateurs at that time. That's what gave the lead over to Kevin Price. Thank you. Of course, that's the only thing that I screw up here with the way that this is set up. Kevin Price now, your race leader on the amateur side. He's just ahead of Charles Abert and now Chuck Feltz. So Pegleg's got a little bit more work to do. He's about a half second behind Abert and Price. And all of a sudden, Price, Abert, and Feltz are in a three-way. Whoa, there goes the 80. And now Charles Abert takes over the lead for the amateurs. And now it's going to be Charles Abert, your amateur leader. He's got Chuck Feltz just about 2.3 seconds behind. And my goodness, oh, that's got to be frustrating if you're the 80. Kevin Price has got to be angrier than a hornet. Let's take another look at that. Nope. Okay, just kidding. As we head on down into the bus stop, the 80 now has to work. He's not far off behind McWhorter. It's still an interesting split here. And I mean, McWhorter's a full lap ahead. He's not going to get this back anytime tonight. But it just seems like maybe there's a little bit of an issue here with a connection for McWhorter. And we've seen this before with him, so that can be frustrating as well, especially if you're close to passing him like Logan Threlkeld. I mean, he's 5.4 seconds back, but, with the right sequence of blinks, that can be enough to have McWhorter out of the server and out of the way, potentially. As now on the AM side, it's Charles Aber, Chuck Feltz, and Kevin Price, your top three on the AM side, while it's McWhorter, Threlkeld, and Justice on the pro side of things. Aber running 12th overall, leads the AM drivers. As he hauls it down into the bus stop, he's got Chuck Feltz just behind. And take a look at the 73 off. This is going to get real hairy real fast. As now, of course, that has disappeared. There it is, Jeremiah Holt. Holt working just behind Eldon Stewart in the 1. I mean, there's about 0.6 of a second between them. And, if this were an oval track, we'd say, hey, 0.6 of a second, that's a lot of space. But on a road course, that's not a whole lot of time, especially when you consider it's one mistake can change your whole night. As you look a little further back, now Kowser's got a problem here in the 91. He's now pulling off and towing to pit road. Let's see what brought this on as we go to the V-Speed instant replay. It looks like he might have locked the front end up coming into the bus stop. Could not get this thing woed back down and stable. Comes into the carousel. And the car, the 69 came up and just tagged him. That's Larry Poling. So the 91 already unsettled trying to get things woed back down, and then Larry Poling accidentally getting in there and finishing off the job for the 91, who now tows to pit road. He's going to get that repair done. But it's obviously going to be too little too late with now 5 laps to go in this piece. Joseph McWhorter leads the way with just 9 cars left on the lead lap. It goes McWhorter, Threlkeld, Justice, Dylan Canova, and Barrett Morton, your top 5. Those are all pro drivers, and then we don't hit another AM driver until overall P12. And it looks right now like Joseph McWhorter just starting to narrow in on the 75 of Chuck Feltz as he easily gets around Feltz. Feltz isn't going to fight him, at least not at this stage in the race. There's no reason. And when you've had a good, clean race like this with now 5 laps, 4 at the line to go, you don't want to sit there and be that guy that everybody talks about, in race chat and Discord later. Oh, what were you doing? You didn't belong there. You definitely want to be respectful out here on the racetrack. And speaking of respect on the racetrack, as Joseph McWhorter has earned that, we take our attention and turn our attention to John Lawless as we give him the respect that he is due. He is our Warrior Spotlight driver of the week here on Goat Locker Racing. John served in the United States Air Force for 22 years as a hydraulic maintainer. He completed 5 deployments to Korea, twice to Iraq, Sicily, and Turkey. He worked on multiple platforms like the U-2S, HH-60G, and HC-130J, and we are proud to have John as a member of the GLR family. You can check him out here at GoatLockerRacing.org, and you can head on over there to GoatLockerRacing.org/donate. Every dime that you donate to Goat Locker goes to the cause that it should. As we go on board now with Kevin Price in the 80, he's drawing closer and closer to the 71 of Daniel Parks. Now Kevin Price running in overall 14th position, chasing down, Price running 4th on the AM side, chasing down Parks, and we suddenly have a battle for P3 on the AM side tonight. As the 80 of Kevin Price now kind of giving that up. They've got to get around Thaddeus Friel in the 08 And they do, Frio giving them plenty of room to get around. While meanwhile, Kevin Price in his Ford Mustang chases down Daniel Parks in the 71. These drivers not really trying to give each other, a whole lot of room, but, if Price wants P13, he's got to do something or get off the pot, that's for sure, if he wants to do anything substantial for his Findlay, Ohio contingent. McWhorter now out to nearly a 9-second lead over Threlkeld, so we're just going to keep it right here on the 80 and the 71. We go on board now. Whoa! That was near disaster. Nobody wants to see that this late in the race as we take a look here at Kevin Price in the 80, just behind Daniel Parks. Now they're separated by about 0.8 of a second. Looking at timing and scoring, that's the closest gap on the racetrack right now. As the Popsicle Sticks go in the air, we're 2 laps to go. Just one driver with the meatball tonight, and that belongs to Jacob Lanke in the 37. So a lot of these drivers having the time to come on down pit road, while Tyler Justice and Dylan Canova have to come down pit road. This may be a repeat of what we saw in the Eastern Division, as Canova out of Lakeland, Florida, Justice out of Lakeland, Canova out of Lakeland, Florida, my goodness, and Justice out of Byron, Georgia, both coasting down pit road. They're going to get a splash of fuel to finish this one out, but Joseph McWhorter out of St. Robert has been the story of the night. He's led all but every second of this race, with maybe the odd nanosecond here or there. Leads Logan Threlkeld by 12.7 seconds now, as Charles Abert leads the way for the AM division. The Popsicle Sticks go down, the white flag's in the air, and we're racing back to checkers. Joseph McWhorter has been dominant all night long on the pro side. Meanwhile, Charles Abert kind of fell into the lead of the AM side after the 80 spun himself out a little while ago. The AM division's been incredibly competitive, and the question becomes, does Joseph McWhorter have enough fuel? We saw this in the first race on the east side, and, coming down to the wire, do each of these drivers have it? Now, if there's somebody here that I trust, it's going to be Joseph McWhorter. He's not a big gambling man. He makes smart choices here on the racetrack, as he's going to come down the carousel. He's babying the throttle, and he's trying to be as conservative as possible. No hiccups yet in the 72. He heads into the penultimate turn, coming through the little chute here. No hiccups once again. You can see that final turn on the horizon. He's going to have enough to get to the end, as one more time he's going to get on the throttle and bring it home, crossing the start-finish line. Joseph McWhorter captures the checkered flag here at Watkins Glen on the pro side. We go back to Charles Abert on the AM side. Charles Abert going to try to bring it home in.
Grow thicker, fuller hair in as few as 3 to 6 months with doctor-trusted ingredients. Hims prescription hair treatments are formulated with finesse.
While Charles Abert heads toward the penultimate turn, we're going to hear him gear down. It seems like he's got enough fuel. He stopped on lap 23 for fuel last to McWhorter's 20, so he's got to be more than good as he comes through the final turn. Bringing home the AM checkered flag is going to be Charles Abert, followed by Chuck Pegleg Feltz, Daniel Parks, George Jewell, as he gets across the line. So an impressive night for all of these drivers, as Charles Abert out of Chehalis, Washington, comes on home. Joseph McWhorter, though, he's your overall winner. He started first. He finished first. He led all 40 laps, and that, folks, is what we call dominance here in the GLR Glove Station ARCA Series. Hey, Joseph, it's Dave up in the booth. You got me?
Yes, sir.
Buddy, another dominant night here for you in the ARCA Series. I mean, what's the secret sauce to the 72?
I don't know. I don't know how to answer that question. Just be consistent. Just take everything as it came, and I'm out of fuel. Um, just
Well, we were wondering when that had happened.
yeah, I crossed the line with 0.3 left. Us having that whole lap of pacing, when we went green, we were probably like 0.4, 0.3 worse than what the other race had. So we had to save a lot more. So I think that showed in the lap time versus like Mark versus B. I was just short shifting everywhere, braking early. I seen how far or how hard the 91 was pushing at the beginning, and I was just I'd start to separate from him and start saving fuel again, and then I'd have like a hiccup with the lap car, and then he was right back on me. So it was a really it was a very hard race trying to make. I mean, that was all lap time and minimal fuel save to try and make it to the end of the race and pull away.
Yeah, definitely a rough day if I do say so myself. But listen, man, I mean, overall, a great performance for the 72. Before we cut you loose here, who do you need to thank and who helped you get it done on the 72 team?
Yeah, absolutely. Want to thank Outlier Speak, amazing partner of mine. They're also a partner of V-Speed, so go check them out in the description below for the affiliate links and go get you some setups. Red Camel Racing, also another amazing partner of mine. Been working with them for a long time. Red Camel has everything that you need from fire suit, shoes, helmets, anything that you need on a race weekend. They've got it. 29 Graphics. Go check them out on Trading Paints at 29 Graphics. You guys for putting on the broadcast each and every week. Love V-Speed and love having you guys. The admins for the hard work, the drivers for a great race, and man, sweeping the weekend at Watkins Glen, that feels good.
Absolutely. All right, my friend. Well, listen, congratulations on the Watkins Glen sweep, and we will see you next week.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Looking forward to it.
Thank you. And of course, with that, we're going to head on over to Charles Aber, winner of the AM side out of Chehalis, Washington. Hey, Charles, you got a copy? It's Dave up in the booth.
Yes, I got a copy.
Buddy, listen, you rolled off tonight in P11. You finished in 10th overall, but the important thing is that you get the AM win. I mean, that's got to feel pretty good, especially the way that you got the lead here on the AM side.
Yeah, yes, I was kind of worried because guy was letting me by around turn 1, and then he got someone got into him, and it spun me in and take a fast repair. So.
Yeah, I mean, the fast repair is always going to be everybody's best friend, especially when you don't have time to come in, with cautions and things like that. Hey, let me hit that fast repair. Let me keep things moving. And I mean, overall, you still ran a great race. I mean, road courses are difficult, especially because it's a completely different discipline to get around the racetrack.
Yes, it is. The practice sessions this week were great that they threw up. You have to thank, our goat locker guys that threw up. I think it was Kevin Price that threw them up. I hit a couple of them, and I watched a couple of videos this week, and I just tried to brush up on it. And it was actually, I had a lot of fun. So.
Yeah, it's been a great night. It's been a lot of fun, especially to see all you guys, running around here and putting that practice to good use. But before we get you out of here, who helped you get it done in lucky number 7 tonight?
Oh, man. First of all, I want to thank our sponsor, Glove Station, series sponsor. And I'll go ahead and thank Lincoln Tech and Save 22, Goat Locker, Invest, Print, Jam Printing, and Cruising Classics, and the broadcasting team and Race Control. I appreciate it. Thank you for my wife for letting me race. But it's definitely a fun series to run.
A fun series it is, and a good and fun night for you, Chuck. So congratulations once again, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Hey, thank you very much.
Thank you. Well, Sky, another one in the books here in the GLR Glove Station ARCA series, and what a night it's been on both divisions, East and West.
Yeah, we had great racing across both series, some fuel drama across both of them as well. I mean, it was a great race all around, but that fuel drama made it really special.
Yeah, it's not. I don't think I've ever seen, like you had in your race there on the East Division, two drivers fighting for the same position, both running out of fuel within literally feet of the start-finish line.
Yeah, that was one of the wildest things I've ever seen in my life. I can't lie to you. And I saw that Kansas flip yesterday.
Yeah, the Kansas flip was just this side of out of control. But, and I mentioned it a moment ago, we're going to see everybody back here in 2 weeks as we're going to get ready to go to the Monster Mile and go see Miles as he'll be ready to greet us down there at Dover Motor Speedway in the first state, Delaware. And, I'm excited because that's kind of a home track for me. It's only about an hour and a half away. I mean, we go from here in this beautiful, lush green land to Delaware, and it's like the other end of the world.
Yeah, we got a fundraiser race coming up here as well before our next race. This will be on Wednesday, October 8th at 8 p.m. Go Locker Racing is raising money to provide more equipment to veterans and first responders here with their work at GLR. I believe they've given away 10 sim rigs. Correct me if that number has gone up, but again, raising some more money here to give away more and contribute more to America's veterans. That'll be all here for us on V-Speed tonight. For Dave and Eddie up here in the booth with me and everybody at both GLR and V-Speed, I'm Sky Shrek. Thank you so much for watching and have a good night.